Namaste, welcome back to my channel. Today, as promised, I'm going to be covering the basics of aspiring a career in the aviation industry as a flight attendant. So I'm going to pull some important tips, advice, some insight, and really just kind of present it in bullet points on the things that you're going to need and you're going to want to start considering as you get into this career and start pursuing it. First things first, you definitely want to do your research. Take plenty of notes. Yes, if you can get a cute little notebook like this, a smaller one, whatever works for you, start taking those notes because there's going to be a lot of research that's involved, and not necessarily the research where you're going to start doing airport codes, things like that. I mean, for me, once I started researching specific airlines and the whole training and interview process, I took some notes and then I started familiarizing myself with like airport codes, things like that, just to like pass time. But that's just me as a person. Start researching airlines, as I mentioned in my video or to this, with your, with where you see yourself. You want to give yourself at least your five top airlines, or maybe top three, again, your preference completely. To kind of narrow down where you see yourself working. If this is your passion, this is what you want to do, you have to start envisioning yourself in this career and seeing yourself as a Delta flight attendant, JetBlue, Frontier, so many different airlines, right? So you want to start picturing yourself, daydream a little bit. That's okay. It's totally fine to daydream. I mean, why not? Have some fun with it. Because you're going to be a little bit brain fried and you're going to have information overload once you start researching, because every airline, yes, more or less on the process of the hiring and training, it's the same, but the values of the company, where they started, when they started, of course it's all going to be very different. So you want to research and gonna tailor it specifically, because you might be asked questions about a specific airline, during your interview process. So kind of prepare yourself for that. Research, I also mean research such as researching the type of money you might need to save, what kind of things would be involved as far as money, passports, where you can get your passports. I will say, first things first, make sure that you invest in a passport. I think that would probably be the first thing that you'll want to do for yourself, because I promise you will thank yourself later. Some said airlines, one of them being Frontier and American, they're a little bit different, but for example, Frontier does require that you have your passport in hand as soon as you apply online. So just at the application process itself, starting out, you need your passport. It's going to follow with you through that entire process with Frontier. American Airlines, they understand and give you that flexibility if you're in the process of still getting it. You have that time from the time that you apply to your face-to-face, but you need to have it at your face-to-face for American Airlines. Things may have changed with some of these airlines. I've only been through 2 face-to-face processes. I got the job with Frontier, was denied with American. I did American Airlines last year, so they may have changed some procedures and processes, but more or less invest in a passport. I paid $120. You can get a passport at your local US post office or any county government office where they give you official documents, official travel documents, things like that. So definitely do your research on what's close to you. You'll want to set aside a couple $100, because it's not anytime gonna be cheaper than $100. I paid $120 again. This is about a year ago. I think recently I heard the price bumped up to $140. So again, this is why you want to start saving money and you want to invest in these things, because firstly, you're going to be traveling all over the world, so you're going to need that passport. I live in the US, so I have a US passport. For those of you that might live out of the country, you might have different procedures, but I mean, more or less all around, everybody needs a passport. Secondly, with the passports, I had to do a money order to process it. You cannot give your credit card, you cannot give a debit, and you certainly can't give a check. You have to do a money order. I went to my local AmScot, depending on where you live. In the US, I know there's AmScots everywhere, so definitely go to your local AmScot as well before you go the day that you sign up and do all the paperwork to do your passport, that you filled out. I think there's a form, and then you also need that money order. So you want to take care of all of that together. Money order, you just, if you have all your cash or you want to pull out a certain amount, AmScot's really good with that. So if it's your first time, don't worry, it's a really easy process, but you want to make sure you take care of all of that, because that's going to cut into time and delay the process of you getting your passport. Passports can take about up to a month to be received. I have not in my process, you know, myself, I didn't wait a month. They said like 4 to 6 weeks, I think was the time that they gave, and I could be wrong on that. Please don't. This was a year ago. But it does take a couple weeks, so expect that time as well. You want to keep an open mind with the time frame and everything in pursuing this career, because things are not going to happen overnight, and everything's not going to fall immediately in your lap. So with that mindset, you're not going to be set up for, you know, you're not going to get your hopes up at all. So also kind of prepare yourself in that sense as well. I think it took 2 weeks max, and I received it. It was mailed to my house. You do not receive your passport that same day, but you do take your photo. You fill out the paperwork there as well to provide an ID at the time, and then I think your social security, because they want to match your name with your other travel documents because it's official, and for any reason someone needs to verify, and the airlines will not only require your passport but also your social security to make sure those names match. I have 2 last names, so for me it's a little bit tricky, so I have to make sure that everything is in order as is. Like, I can't have my first last name be last and the last one be first. So just so you can kind of understand, you can also use a name that you usually go by. So for me it's Volker Rodriguez, but if I just go by Rodriguez, I think you could just put Rodriguez. As far as like within the company, but when it comes to the travel document, you're gonna need to make sure that you have it in that specific order and that it's of course valid. Secondly, again with the time frame, I just want to warn you all now, it's not gonna happen overnight. My dream job in this industry, it took about a year. There has been people that have been pursuing it for 3 years, 5 years, and even longer. Really just based upon luck. At the time that you apply, you want to start putting out as many applications as you can. It doesn't matter if you have 10 applications floating in the air. At least you have 10, because you're going to hear from one of those 10, right? So you want to have all of that in place as well. But again, with that mindset of it's not going to happen overnight, I may not get this, I may get it. Telling yourself those things is really going to help you, and you know, so you don't get your hopes up, so you don't get discouraged. You're going to be discouraged along the way. I'm not going to lie to you all. You're going to be discouraged because there's some airlines that require that you be a certain age. There are some airlines that require that you look a certain way. For example, one of those airlines is Emirates. They're a little bit more stricter. So again, this is why you have to do your research and kind of see where you fit. That company aligns with your values overall. So you want to also put that in place in this process. I will be honest with you, it not only took a year, but the application process can take up to 5 months. It's a really long time, and the reason for that being is because you're one of thousands, and it's not even 1,000, it's more than 1,000, but you're in an entire ocean full of other applicants, other candidates. So it's not just you. When you're applying, you think, oh yeah, it's me, I'm applying, and you know, it's just me. No. Newsflash, you are one amongst a million at this point, and I'm just gonna be honest. I know it may be a little exaggerated, but in the recent years, a lot of people are trying to pursue this career. There are a lot of candidates, a lot of applicants, and airlines have processes in place to do kind of like a process of elimination to weed out people, because trust me, the workload for them is very hard as well. You have maybe 5 people dealing with thousands of applications a day. I don't really know the behind the scenes process, but I would imagine that the job is just as hard for them. So you're not going to hear from them, you know, the same night or the next morning. You may. Again, that's where luck comes in, because really you could be hanging on a small thin thread, but if you have all the luck in the world, that could really boost you up. But again, it's a gamble. It's a gamble that you're getting into, and so is the employer as well, because they're investing time in you and you're investing time as well. So nobody really knows the end result, but as long as you keep pushing through, you're determined, I promise you, time will go by like that. I can't believe I'm sitting here today saying that I am a flight attendant. I'm going to be officially as of March, and I'm going to be flying out for training. Like, I'm still on cloud 9. So, you know, just have an open mind with that. The second thing I want to advise is to network. You may not have a lot of connections, but there are career groups out there on social media. To aspiring flight attendants on Facebook. It's on Facebook, but I don't know the full name. But find small groups, make connections. If you have close friends or family that are also wanting to pursue the same career, start networking together, research together, motivate each other to save money. All these things are really going to help in pushing you in the right direction. To also consider is maybe, you might be finding yourself in a situation where you're just not getting the job offer. You're getting a lot of TBNTs, just an acronym, and that means thanks but no thanks. So if you're getting a lot of those letters and you're just like, man, I don't know what's going on. One thing I can say is wherever you live, consider a job in the airport, whether that's working the ramp, that's working bags, or if you're a check-in agent, or if you do something small, just one of the retail stores. If you can get a job in the airport, that's really gonna look good, A, on your application, and B, you're gonna see all kinds of different airlines, all different airline employees, and you're gonna see flight attendants. I currently work at the airport since August, and let me tell you, I've received so much information. Yes, it's all on-ground information, it's not, in the air info, but you learn a lot of the basics of the airline industry and you start getting familiar with those airport codes. The airline I work for is an international airline, specifically European. So my airport codes are like very diverse. I mean, it's all around the world, domestic and international. So learning all of this information and just with the day-to-day job duties, I've already started to familiarize a lot of airport codes. So for me, and for you, this can help you when you're asked certain questions, when you get the job and you go for training. Airport codes are going to be our lifestyle. That's going to be our lingo. So getting a job in the airport, that's going to right away take away the hassle and the time that it would take to network outside, on the outside with other people. If you see a flight attendant, with the specific airline that you want to work for, don't be afraid to ask questions. 90% of the time, they're very friendly and they will answer the questions that you have. They know with this career, A, people are looking at you all the time. You're like being watched everywhere you go. But B, they know that there's a lot of other people that are wanting to do the same thing they're doing. So I'm sure they know that they're going to be asked questions or stopped or whatever the case may be. So don't be afraid to ask. I was a bit of a person, I still am, that's afraid to kind of step out of my comfort zone and to network with people. But I will tell you, you'll receive some really helpful information, and getting it firsthand from a flight attendant is really great because they've already been through the process. They're with the company. So of course they're giving you accurate information versus finding it online, and you may or may not know that person who posted the information. So you won't have like that security in knowing, okay, this is legit information. So look into jobs at the airports. I honestly don't think I would have got the job with Frontier if it wasn't for my experience in the short time working for Lufthansa Airlines out of MCO, which again, I've learned so much information and it's helped me so much. I think that's again why I'm in the position that I'm in now. I just want to tell you all, be genuine, be yourself. It is your time to shine. From the time that you submit that application to your face-to-face interview, don't feel like you're in competition with other people. I will tell you right now, take that mindset out of your head because you're not in competition. Everybody's there for the same reason. They want the same job that you have. So stand out, be unique to yourself, be honest, don't lie about things, and definitely don't be fake because they're gonna detect that right away. I don't know, they have some like weird way of detecting, who's being fake and all of that. So just be yourself, take a deep breath, relax. It's a long process, but you're getting into a really exciting career. You're getting into an exciting process. You're gonna learn so much, but with the tips that I've given you, if you start putting these in place, I promise you, you're gonna see a reward at the end. Look at me. I'm not even officially done yet, but I got through one of the hardest parts and I'm ready to get through the second hardest part. So I hope that these tips helped. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to message me. You have my social media, which is linked down below. So don't be afraid to comment, like, and subscribe. Definitely reach out. I hope you all have a wonderful day. To kiss the lips that send me in